everything is temporary and everything is subject to change, that you will die. And that you are a disappointment to yourself, your family, and your dog. And I just want you to know that you're not a disappointment. Wow. Welcome to my channel. And today we are covering the art of becoming. Okay, I wrote down a couple notes because I realized that I do not live in the present, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who internalize all of their feelings and just keep everything in their head and never talk about shit. So today I want to combine all of my knowledge, which is very few, and make a video about the art of becoming and how to be in the present moment. I know, impossible. But apparently it is. So, you know those people who you will say something to them and it will just like bounce off their head like it's absolutely nothing? I wish I could relate. But I can't. Everything you say to me, I take it personally. And I don't want to. But I do. So ever since I've been doing this video, I've been living life, and I've realized that there's a lot of overthinking happening in here that I need to release. And that I hoard a lot of emotions and scenarios, and I am very active in here and heavy in here, and that I need to let it go. This YouTube channel is for me to grow and for you to grow with me and for us to grow together. We are living that life. Girl, it's so confusing sometimes to be a girl. Okay, my first point. So the art of becoming is actually the art of being in the present moment. Who fucking knew? Because becoming is literally it's the verb in the progressive form or whatever they call it. You know what I mean? Like if we're learning Korean and I say 먹어, that means eat, right? But then if I say 먹고 싶어요, that means I want to eat, right? 저는 먹고 싶어요. But then if I say I ate, 먹었어. 저 먹었어요. I already ate, right? I ate. But if I'm saying I'm eating, what do I say actually? 뭐 가고 있어? 뭐 가고 있어요? 먹고 있어요? Yo, why do I not know? 있어. 먹고 있어요. Isn't that what didn't I say that at some point? 먹고 있어요. 저 먹고 있어요. Anyways, it means I am currently eating. I am eating. It's not 먹어 as in like eat. And it's not 먹었어요 as in I ate. It's 먹고 있어요. I'm eating right now in this present moment, okay? And that is the art of becoming. It's the 거 있어 and everything in life. 하고 있어요, 먹고 있어요, 읽고 있어요. What else is there? There's other verbs. I should really know more verbs than that. So the first thing you need to understand when you're living in the present is that everything is temporary and everything is subject to change. And, life is ephemeris. And that you will die. And once you understand that knowledge and you really let that sink in, you will truly understand the secret of life. I just love doing this with my hands right now, okay? Are you here? Are you here with me? It's like I'm on crack. I swear I'm not on drugs. I just did a yoga class this morning, and now I'm feeling like very focused. I think I need more exercise. Anyways, so you may be feeling extremely ecstatic like I am right now. Right now, I'm like high vibes. This is great energy. You know what I mean? But this feeling is not going to last. The same way that I've been, struggling to film this video, that feeling will come back again. I'm sure it will come back again. Everything is temporary, including your feelings, including your situations, including everything. My friend does this a lot. But it's so true. Like, it's all temporary, and I think you need to understand that. But once you understand that things are temporary and that you're not owed the feelings even that you were feeling in this moment, and that you have kind of little control over the vibes around you sometimes, you will learn to appreciate and actually learn what you can learn in the moment of whatever you're feeling, right? So if you're feeling ecstatic, hyper, active, focused, you're gonna get a bunch of shit done and you're probably gonna burn the fuck out, right? Enjoy that feeling. Spend that on something that you actually care about instead of doom scrolling, right? You wouldn't be doom scrolling if you felt this emotion because it might not last. You know what I mean? You need to kind of like carry out the highs as long as you can and make them work for you. And then you also need to know that when you're feeling sad, down in the dumps, and like life is like out to get you, that it's not actually out to get you, even though it might feel that way. And that, you know, you just need to learn to cope in those moments and try to understand the silver lining, although it's really, really hard and I fucking hate it. You do have to like feel your emotion, feel that sadness, let it go through you, because every emotion you are feeling, it is for a reason. And then once it is out, or at least on the way out, then your head will become clearer and you'll be able to understand where it's coming from. And you will learn a lot in those moments. You know, it's not when you're happy that you're learning a bunch. I feel like when you're, you know, happy and you're feeling high on energy, you're able to, from your past experiences that you already learned from, you take that energy and you work it towards something positive, you know. But usually when you go low and you're in the dark night of the soul and like winter season is coming around and everyone's inside and the sun's going to bed really early, waking up really late, it's in those moments of darkness, you know, in the womb, you may say, that you really learn the most. So a little food for thought. Next point. So life is not waiting around for your success, for your moment, for happy ever after. Like, that's not what life is about. You know what I mean? If you were someone that wanted to be famous and you're waiting for your turn to shine, okay, let's say you were Sabrina Carpet and you're over here like, damn, like, why am I in the Kia asylum? Like, this is crazy. I've been working my ass off. Work. Listen, she chucked out like 4 albums or something. 3, and then she came out with Short and Sweet, and then she had her moment, right? But are we just saying that all those 3 albums that she did for Disney were a waste? No. Actually, it cultivated a pretty good fandom for her that are still there, her ride or dies, in whatever moment she's going through. And it made her develop her pen. It made her learn more about the industry. I don't know. I think it made her more of a workhorse, someone that can tolerate a little bit more, which, you know, is kind of sad, but, you know, that's the industry. And if you want to be here and play the game, you got to be a strong player, or else they're going to drain you dry and you'll be just out on the curb within 30 seconds tops. Some people can't handle the heat. And I feel like her going through the Disney machine and doing that contract, releasing all those albums, and then coming out with Short and Sweet, it's made her tougher, stronger. You know, she can clock a bitch, period. She said, you think I got nothing between these eyes, but I do. What song was that? I think I can do a lot in 15 minutes. The part talking about coming out the wood chop, the wood chop. I don't know. Wood chuck. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood in the truck? Can you tell I have so much energy right now? Yes, if you were a celebrity, when people are watching your biopic after you pass away, people are not just going to be like, oh my God, Audrey Hepburn, most famous person ever. That's going to be the most important part of the biopic. No, they're going to be talking about every single thing that you've been through, that you've overcome. Those are the parts that make a character interesting, compelling, and worth watching. If Audrey Hepburn was only famous and that's all she had and there was nothing else to it, then, you know, I don't even think she would be famous. You know what I mean? All the stuff you struggle with is there to bring you to that point, you know? And if you think of your life as the biopic, no one's going to be just watching for the end. People already know what the end is, honey, okay? That fame, that success, the recognition that you crave, that you just want to be seen for something that you did well, even if it's not like, I don't want to be on stage. I just want to create something useful to the world, and I want to have like an impact, or I want to help, and I want to do something of value, you know? I want to feel valued. There are going to be moments in life where you just don't feel that way, and that you feel like that time is never going to come, and that you are a disappointment to yourself, your family, and your dog. I just want you to know that you're not a disappointment, and that these moments are critical and very important, okay? When you're working that deadbeat job that you don't like, it's giving your brain time to think about new songs you want to create, new ideas that are fresh. You're on the ground. You're there with everyday people. You are not disconnected from reality like these other people. You are here. You're locked in. You're locked in and you're working hard. And you're building character. Who gives a fuck if people don't recognize it? Someday they will. And guess what? You will be the same person before and after. Now a little section when they recognize you and then they forget you and they recognize you again. Guess what? You've been here the entire time. Just like Zara Larson, she's like, I've been that girl. I've been that bitch. Oh, sorry, I almost choked on my spit. Just because y'all find Zara Larson cute now doesn't mean she wasn't cute before. Just because, you know, Black people are not at the top of the charts at a certain period of time doesn't mean Black people are not extremely talented and have a bunch of music and catalogs, and that they're not taken from, in terms of that people don't take from them, take inspiration from, that people don't take inspiration from them all the time. Okay? More food for thought. You know what I mean? Don't get too down. If you're feeling down, I hope that my little blah, 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 helped you out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I feel that way too. And I wish this me would have talked to that me and told her, hey, girl, you're locked in. Like, and that's another thing. Maybe this moment sucks, but it won't last forever. Once again, going back to the first point, everything is temporary. Say it with me. Temporary. Period. Okay? Maybe you don't see them now and you are only looking at all the things that you lack, but you got to look at, you know, the privileges that you may not notice of that moment. Because when you leave that moment, you're going to look back and be like, damn, I miss when I had the time to walk my dog myself and bring him to the trees and talk to the trees. You know, I miss, you know, when I was in high school, like I wanted to grow up so much and go to college, but I miss that schedule of high school. Like that's one of the privileges of high schools, that they give you a schedule, you know, maybe you miss that. And when you were younger, you didn't see the benefits of that. I think we need to kind of open our eyes and be a little bit more grateful instead of, you know, feeding into the melancholy. Because I know I can do that. We wake up the next day and we keep pushing, okay? And we have to be grateful, okay? Don't feed into the melancholy. Don't give your soul to it. Things will get better. And believe that. Hold that. Think about that. You know? Anyways, yeah, let's not be grateful in hindsight. Let's be grateful right now, okay? I'm grateful for my mom. She's alive and breathing. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head and that this room is warm, even when outside is cold. I'm grateful that I have been able to afford to buy this phone and / camera so I can film these videos for you. I'm grateful that I found a good angle today. I might use it again. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for my sisters. I'm grateful for what I've learned and that I won't have to relearn the lesson again. And that's another thing too. If you are stuck in life and you're struggling with something and you don't know what to do and you feel overwhelmed, take a moment, take a beat, breathe. I know it's annoying people say that, but they say it because it's true. Take that moment and realize that, you know, just assess your situation and give yourself a little bit of time to figure out how to deal with it. It's okay. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more time. Sometimes you literally go to bed, you wake up the next day, and you have the perfect solution to all of your problems. And you're like, how did I not think about that? It's because you were in high stress. You weren't thinking right, girl. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know, we need to have a little bit more love and compassion for ourselves and for others. And especially for ourselves. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why we project such nasty things on other people. It's because we just don't think that we're good enough and we're trying to compensate for that. Sometimes, you know, we don't gotta do all that. Love yourself. Be aware of your strengths. Realize that, hey, like, I'm actually pretty cool. I'm a cool person, you know? I've done this, that, and the third, and people might not acknowledge it, but I think I'm pretty freaking cool. And then also acknowledge your faults. You know what I mean? But don't take it as like negative 5 points. But it's more like I could work on that. And I have worked on that, and understand that you were born in different circumstances than other people who have access to things easier than you. You know what I mean? If you were never taught discipline when you were a kid and then you're 20 and you're like, shit, like I don't have any discipline. And then you're like, wow, I suck. I don't have any discipline. It's okay. You were just not taught discipline. You can teach it to yourself. It takes a little bit more time. Like not everyone has the same obstacles as you. Everyone is struggling with different things on different levels. You'll get there when you need to get there if you have to get there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now we're on to the third thing about the art of becoming and living in the present is connection. Yeah, I thought I didn't need connection. I actually do need connection. I can't be by myself 24/7. You need to be around people that you trust. You need to have confidence. You need to have friends. This isn't a one-man show. We're humans. We live in communities. We live on this earth, this beautiful, plentiful, beautiful earth that we destroy every day. Yeah, you need to surround yourself with friends every now and again. You know what I mean? Go out even when you're having a struggle day. Obviously, if you feel like shit and you don't feel like you're going to be a good time, you know, maybe don't. But if you feel like you can, you should go and meet some people and tell them about not some people you trust, like your friends, like people you know, and tell them about how you've been feeling, you know? Friends have this magical ability of making everything just feel so much smaller than what it feels like inside. You know, they literally did this experiment. I don't know how accurate this is, so please don't at me. But basically, they did this experiment where this person was electrically shocked by themselves. And then this person was electrically shocked with a person next to them. And then the third person was electrically shocked with someone holding their hand. I think that's how it went. It was 3 different people in 3 different scenarios. And the first person, they got a shock and they felt the entire shock and it was very painful. And the second person that had someone there with them, the shock pain actually, like, they measured it and it was like diminished. And then the third person, they felt it even less. You know what I mean? So it's just the fact that you like numbers really do make a difference, and feeling like you're comforted and you're not going through something alone, and that, like, you know, if you're like, I just crashed my car and now I owe like $15,000, and then they're gonna be, oh shit, that's crazy, I'm in debt from school with 20K. Oh my God, twin. And then y'all can be like, oh my God, twin. And then y'all can just like, that's so funny. Let's go get a drink even though we're broke. Obviously make smart choices, but at the same time, like, that just alleviates the burden and it brings you back to the present moment. You know, instead of worrying like, oh my God, I owe all this money. Like, yeah, you owe this money. You owe the money will be owed. It will always be owed until you pay it off. But what can you do in the meantime? You're gonna sulk. Sometimes the emotions become so much bigger than what the problems are. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure, this isn't Sims. You can't motherload your way out of everything, but you can definitely surround yourself with people that you trust and confide in them, and it'll help you put put a good head on your shoulders. Okay? I struggle with this, so I'm telling you, learn to trust people. It really does make life easier. I didn't want to believe it, but it's true. On to the 4th thing. In life, we are born through someone and then we die alone. No matter how you look at that, that is just the truth of the situation. Unless you're like some surrogate in a lab or whatever, but someone still had to go and, you know, allow the earth to allow you into life. You know what I mean? When it comes to earth, you have to come through a vessel of some kind, or they had to create this vessel. I don't know what laboratories we're in. I don't know what, it's 2026. I don't know what people are doing. I'm not up to date with the ways of giving birth. Okay, don't at me. But we all die alone, and that's just a fact. You know, you could die, like Romeo and Juliet, they wanted to die together. They both died, but they're not dead together. Okay, let's not fight on the technicalities of this. So what's important in life isn't the fact that we were born and then we die. You know what I mean? That's not the point. The point of life is the in-between. It's the living, breathing, me filming this video right now and feeling it in my fingertips. You know, you going out on a night out and dancing your ass off, you know, going to work and feeling like you're actually doing something with your life, paying your bills in real time, but like, damn, I actually worked and I got this done. There's the long term. There's a long term, and then there's a short term, and then there's just the living in between. You're always alive. The past, the future, it's not real, okay? Yes, your past affects your future, but all of this is just decisions that you're making in the present time continuously. Like, life is constantly renewing until you die. And as long as you are breathing, you are able to make more decisions to aid yourself or fuck everything up. Listen, that's all on you. What you want to do is what you want to do. What you've been given. But what is most important about life is to live. And if you take live, it's also, you can pronounce it as live, which is like en direct, like in this moment, like right now, live, bro, live. When they say give it to me live, they mean give it to you immediately. Like, 지금 바로, like 바로 지금, whatever the fuck the Korean translation of that is. You know what I mean? Like, kunya. That's Creole for you. That's what I mean. My Creole sound there butchered as fuck, but you get what I mean. Immediately now. Immediatamente. That's definitely not Spanish. Don't quote me on that. But you get what I'm saying, right? So I wrote down some questions that you should probably ask yourself. Number 1, who are you becoming your whole life? You know when we were talking about 먹고 있어요? 사 먹었어. It's not 먹어. It's not 먹어 할 거예요. You know what I mean? It's 먹고 있어. What are you doing right now? Who are you becoming right now? What kind of person are you right now? Think about it. Think about it. Answer it. Let me know. What have you learned from your numerous mess ups? Because I know you've done them. I know you've messed up. I know you failed multiple times. I've failed as well. Everyone fails. Everybody fails. But what are you choosing to fail at? You know? Where are you trying to go? What are you up to? And what have you learned from that failure? Or things that you've done well. What have you learned from the things that you did well? Things that you didn't expect you were really good at, and suddenly you found out that actually I kind of have a talent for this. I kind of have a knack for that. You know what I mean? Like, who knew? And now here I am. Or what have you learned from people? What have you learned from experience? You know, we're learning every single day. Y'all need to respect the unks, okay? Y'all be talking too much on these people. Y'all be calling me unk. Relax. Relax. And put respect on their name, because old people have lived compared to you, and they actually know what's up. And they can teach you a lot. And if you have any questions, or you actually choose to listen with these ears that have been given to you, then you will learn a lot of things. So stop coming after the unks. The unks got it. They got it. They got it. They got whatever it is, they got it. Listen to your fellow unks and aunties. Number 3, in terms of questions, what experiences or stories have touched your heart? And I think this question is important to answer, just to know, first of all, are you feeling? So a lot of people are numb. Are you feeling your emotions? When you did feel, what had caused you to feel? You know, what are some core memories in your life that have made you feel a certain way? What's a movie that has made you feel elated? What is a book that has made you feel enthralled and into the book, and like you literally couldn't put it down? Like, you know, what are moments where you find yourself really enraptured in the feelings? Because those are feelings that are happening in the moment. You feel them in the moment. It is in the moment. It is the art of becoming. 4th question, when you pause and you really think about it, who do you want to be? What do you really want to do right now? This could be a bit as big as like, I want to be a world-renowned philosopher. I want to be the next Albert Einstein. It could also be like, I really want to clean my room. It is filthy. Write it down and then, like, I don't know, do it. I mean, obviously bigger goals like being Einstein, you have to break that down a bit more. So yeah, I would definitely think like more in the present, like smaller things, like what do you want right now? Because sometimes I'll be like, I want to be a star, but it's like, what I really want right now though is a sandwich. Like, I'm fucking hungry, you know what I mean? And I can't take over the world if I haven't eaten. Like, that doesn't work like that, does it? Take care of yourself, friends. And I think 5th question and the final one. What have you been scared of doing and holding yourself back from? I think our fears can teach us a lot of things as well. And the things that we choose to avoid, the thoughts that feel like they come and they bother us and we try to get rid of them quickly. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to dwell in it. We don't want to sit in it because it's just too much. But why? Why can't you sit in that? Why does that feeling make you feel bad? Why do you think you're scared to stand in front of everyone and give a presentation? Like, really go back in there, because really, at the end of the day, we've all had to give a presentation. We've all had to sit in front of a class, stand in front of a class and give a presentation and look like an absolute fool, okay? You're not special in that regard, unless you've been homeschooled. Then, well, why do you feel like people are going to laugh and judge you? And also, if they are going to laugh and judge you, why do you feel like you should be ashamed of whatever you did? Did you do anything shameful? I mean, if you did something shameful, I can understand. But your presentation, is it really that shameful? Is it really that bad? You're doing what everyone else had to do. Why do you feel fear about that? Really think about that. You know, laisse le mijoter un peu. Understand the why. I think a lot of times in life, we tend to repeat cycles and do the same things over and over again, and we don't actually understand why we do things. And I think it'll save you a lot of time if you understand why, the why. You know what I mean? Like when Britney Spears shaved her head and, you know, was fighting the paparazzi, and she did that one performance in 2007 and everyone made it a meme. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, she's fucking crazy. She looks batshit. What's going on with her? But no one asked why. why is this happening? That, or no one cared about the why until the Free Britney movement. So don't be like those people. Don't be like that. Ask why. Why? So I'm going to leave you with this. Life is full of decisions, and every breath that you take is another chance to make a different decision or to reinforce the same one. Whatever it is that you want to do. You keep making choices with your free will until you die. Don't forget that, because that is the art of becoming. Thank you for watching. If you have any answers or like questions, or you just want to be nice to me, leave a comment down below. Like the video if you liked it. If you like me, I have music. Give it a listen. Hopefully I'll have more very, very soon. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm very grateful that I even filmed this video.